The sky burned orange as the sun set on the strange alien world. 5 humans in white spacesuits walked through tall blue grass that reached their knees. They were far from home, exploring a planet no human had ever stepped on before. Lieutenant Sam Curtis stopped and held up his hand. The others stopped too. Sam was the leader of this small team. They worked for Earth's space exploration program, and their job was to find and study new forms of life. "Listen," Sam said, his voice low. The wind rustled through the blue grass. Somewhere in the distance, a sound like singing floated through the air. "Third day on this rock and it still gives me the creeps," said Joe Parker, the security officer. His hand rested on his stun gun. "Everything here is just wrong." Olivia Morris adjusted the science tool in her hands. She was the team's animal expert. Her eyes sparkled with excitement behind her helmet visor. "Wrong? I think it's amazing. Look at the plants. They're blue instead of green because this planet's sun gives off different light than ours." This planet, which they called Epsilon 6, circled a distant star 40 light-years from Earth. Their ship, the Stargazer, had brought 20 crew members to study it. Sam's team of 5 was one of several groups exploring the surface. "Movement ahead," said Olivia suddenly. She pointed to a cluster of tall, tree-like plants with purple trunks. "Something big." Sam raised his scanner. "Everyone stay together. Remember the rules. Observe only. No contact unless absolutely necessary." Their first 2 trips to the planet's surface had been quiet. They had seen only small creatures that looked a bit like Earth's rabbits and birds, but with extra legs or strange features. The purple trees shook, branches snapped. Something was coming through. "Get ready," Sam whispered. His heart pounded in his chest. The creature that stepped into the clearing made Sam's breath catch in his throat. It stood taller than any human, at least 8 feet high. Its body was covered in scales that changed color like oil on water, shifting from deep blue to purple with each breath it took. 6 golden eyes stared at them from a face that reminded Sam of both a lizard and a big cat. 4 arms extended from its upper body, each ending with long, sharp claws. Spikes ran down its back to a powerful tail that swung slowly back and forth. "Don't move," Sam whispered. His mouth felt dry. Olivia's scanner beeped softly. "It's the biggest life form we've found here," she said, her voice shaking with excitement. "Look at those teeth, those muscles. It must be at the top of the food chain, a perfect predator." The creature tilted its head, studying them with its 6 golden eyes. Its mouth opened slightly, showing teeth as sharp as knives. "It's deciding if we're food," muttered Joe, slowly raising his weapon. "No," Sam said. "Don't threaten it. We don't know how it will react." Dr. Frank Powell, the oldest member of their team, reached into his sample bag. "I have some synthetic protein here," he said. "All exploration teams carry it to test if alien life forms can digest Earth-based nutrients." "Frank, wait," Sam began, but it was too late. Frank tossed a cube of the synthetic meat toward the creature. It landed in the blue grass a few feet from the massive alien. The creature moved faster than Sam thought possible. In a blur of motion, it snatched the food cube before it hit the ground. The team gasped and stepped back as one, hands reaching for weapons. But the creature didn't attack. Instead, it sat back on its powerful hind legs and began to eat the food slowly, almost delicately using its front claws. All 6 eyes remained fixed on Sam's face. "That's not strange," Olivia said, scanning frantically. "It's focused completely on you, Sam." "Why me?" Sam asked, not daring to move. "You're the leader. It can probably tell from how the rest of us position ourselves around you," Olivia explained. "But there's more. The way it's watching you while eating that food. It's like what happens with young animals on Earth. It's connecting you with the food source." "So what? It thinks I'm its parent?" Sam asked in disbelief. "Something like that," Olivia said. "Or maybe it thinks you're the provider of food. Either way, it's forming a bond with you." "Great," Sam said. "Just what I needed." When they finished their survey and prepared to return to their landing craft, the creature followed them. Sam tried making loud noises to scare it away. Joe fired his stun gun into the air. Nothing worked. The creature kept following, staying just far enough away to not seem threatening, but close enough to keep Sam in its sight. At the landing craft, Captain Diane Russell stood waiting. Her face grew dark with anger when she saw what was following her crew. "Absolutely not," she said when Sam explained the situation. "We are not bringing an alien predator onto my ship." "I don't think we have a choice," Frank argued. "It won't leave Sam alone, and think about what we could learn from it." Sam watched as the creature settled at the edge of the clearing. Its scales had shifted to match the purple colors of the nearby trees, but those golden eyes still shone in the gathering darkness, fixed on him. "One night," Captain Russell finally said. "It can stay in the secure containment area for one night. Maximum security. Tomorrow we figure out how to break whatever weird connection it's formed with you." Sam nodded, but as he looked into those intelligent golden eyes, he had a feeling that things would never be that simple. Something deep and knowing looked back at him from those eyes, something that made him wonder who was really studying whom. Word spread fast on the spaceship Stargazer. By morning, everyone on board knew about the alien creature. Crew members found reasons to walk past the secure room where it was kept. They all wanted to see the strange being that engineer Gary Woods already called Sam's pet. The secure room had thick, clear walls stronger than steel. Inside, the creature walked back and forth with smooth, flowing movements. Sometimes it stopped and pressed one of its clawed hands against the clear wall where Sam stood watching. "It hasn't eaten anything since we brought it on board," Olivia said, looking at her science tools with excitement. "But it seems healthy. And look at these brain readings. When you're close to it, Sam, its brain waves start to match yours." Sam shook his head. "That can't be possible." "Well, a giant alien predator following you like a puppy shouldn't be possible either," she replied with a smile. "But here we are." Dr. Frank Powell walked up with a box of food samples. "Try these. If it has bonded with you, maybe it will only eat food that comes from your hand." Sam didn't want to go in the room with the creature, but he agreed. He entered, through a special door that made sure the creature couldn't escape. The alien immediately walked toward him, moving carefully as if it didn't want to scare him. "Hey there," Sam said, feeling silly for talking to it. "Are you hungry?" The creature reached out with one of its upper arms and took the offered food gently. As it ate, Sam noticed thin, hair-like strings coming out from its skin. They were almost see-through against the colorful scales. "Olivia," he called through his radio. "Are you seeing this?" Her voice came back excited. "Those are neural strings. They're reaching toward you. Don't move." The thin strings touched Sam's spacesuit, and a strange feeling came over him. Not exactly words or pictures, but feelings, curiosity, recognition, something that felt like thanks. "It's trying to talk to me," Sam whispered. Over the next 2 weeks, the creature became the most studied passenger on the ship and its unofficial mascot. Sam named it Vex because the situation it created was vexing, causing many problems and questions. Vex learned its way around the ship very quickly once it was allowed to leave the secure room sometimes. It seemed to understand doors, elevators, and even followed simple spoken commands. Most surprising was how it started to copy human behaviors, sitting in chairs, though awkwardly with its strange body, watching people eat with curious attention, even trying to use tools with its many arms. The bosses back on Earth are going to be very angry, Captain Russell reminded everyone during a meeting. Rule 15B clearly says we cannot take dangerous animals from their home planets. "With respect, Captain," Olivia argued, "Vex chose to come with us, and the brain connection it's forming with Sam is something we've never seen before. Breaking that connection could hurt both of them." Sam felt Vex's presence before he saw it, a new awareness that had grown between them. The creature stood at the doorway to the meeting room, its head tilted in the way that Sam now recognized as its listening pose. "See?" Olivia pointed. It found Sam through 3 floors and 4 security checkpoints. "That's not just animal bonding. That's smart thinking and planning," Captain Russell sighed. "Fine. But when we go back to Earth, you will all have to explain this to the Committee for Alien Animal Ethics." That night, as Sam got ready for bed, Vex curled up in the corner of his room. Sam wondered what he had gotten himself into. The yow creature's breathing matched his own, another strange thing that Olivia was eagerly studying. "What are you?" Sam whispered in the dark. Vex's golden eyes shined, and through their growing connection, Sam felt something new, an invitation. But an invitation to what? He didn't know yet. The next morning, Sam woke to find Vex studying his bookshelf. The creature's many fingers touched each book carefully as if trying to understand what they were. "They're books," Sam said, sitting up in bed. "We store information in them." Vex turned all 6 eyes toward him, and Sam felt a pulse of understanding. It was hard to tell. The connection between them was still new and strange. Later in the science lab, Olivia ran more tests while Vex sat patiently on a specially built chair. "Its brain is amazing," she told Sam. "The front part is twice the size of a human's compared to body size. And these neural strings, they seem to be how its species shares information." "So it's smart?" Sam asked, watching Vex examine a simple puzzle Olivia had made. "Smart doesn't begin to cover it," Olivia said. "I think it might be as smart as we are, maybe smarter, just different." As if to prove her point, Vex solved the puzzle in seconds, then looked up as if asking for a harder one. By the end of the week, Vex had learned 50 human words, could find any room on the ship without help, and had started drawing pictures, using a special computer pad made for its clawed hands. "This isn't normal animal learning," Dr. Powell said as they watched Vex draw what looked like a map of its home world. "This is communication. Real communication." Sam found himself spending most of his free time with Vex. They developed a simple sign language using hand movements. The neural connection between them grew stronger too. Sometimes Sam would think about getting a drink of water and Vex would already be moving toward the food room. Not everyone on the ship was happy about Vex, though. Security Officer Joe Parker made it clear he thought the creature was dangerous. "It's a predator," he told Sam one day in the food room. "The biggest, baddest hunter on its planet. You can dress it up, teach it tricks, but that doesn't change what it is." "You don't know what it is," Sam argued. "None of us do, that's the point." Joe shook his head. "I know enough. Those teeth and claws aren't for show. Mark my words. One day instinct will take over. You'd better hope you're not alone with it when that happens." That night Sam had trouble sleeping. What if Joe was right? What if Vex was just acting tame, waiting for something? In the dark, Vex moved from its corner and stood by Sam's bed. Sam's heart beat faster. "Vex?" he whispered. Slowly, carefully, Vex reached out one of its hands. The neural strings appeared, glowing softly in the darkness. They stretched toward Sam, stopping just short of touching his skin. Sam understood. Vex was asking permission. Taking a deep breath, Sam reached out, his own hand. The neural strings touched his fingers. Immediately, his mind filled with images. A vast forest, underground caves filled with soft light, other creatures like Vex moving together in patterns, family, home, loneliness, and through it all, one clear feeling: trust. Sam opened his eyes, not remembering when he had closed them. Vex still stood by his bed, all 6 eyes watching him. "I trust you too," Sam said quietly. Vex returned to its corner, and Sam finally fell asleep. Whatever Vex was, whatever was happening between them, Sam knew his life would never be the same. The Stargazer moved slowly through space, its engines damaged from the attack. The journey back to Epsilon 6 would take 3 weeks instead of 1. This gave the science team plenty of time to study Vex more carefully. Vex isn't just smart, Olivia explained during a meeting, showing brain scans on the main screen. Its species forms mental connections as a way to survive. What we thought was hunting behavior on Epsilon 6 was probably just the first step in a complex social interaction. Sam sat quietly, aware of Vex's presence at the edge of his mind. Their connection had grown stronger since the attack, becoming something that neither could fully explain but both understood. The neural strings contain special cells for sharing information, Dr. Powell added. Basically, a biological network. When Sam fed it that first piece of food, he accidentally started a bonding process. Captain Russell looked worried. So what happens when we reach Earth? I don't think the authorities will be happy about an alien being mentally connected to one of our officers. The question hung in the air. Sam felt Vex's attention sharpen, with interest. There's something else, Olivia said hesitantly. We've been studying the device Vex took from the attackers. They were hired by a private company. This company knew about Epsilon 6 and specifically wanted information about Vex's species. They knew about creatures like Vex before we did? Sam asked. Powell nodded grimly. It seems so, which raises serious questions about unauthorized exploration and possible previous contact. That night, as the ship hummed quietly around them, Sam sat with Vex in the observation room looking out at the stars. The creature had come to enjoy these quiet moments, seeming to appreciate the vastness of space as much as any human. We need to find a better way to communicate, Sam said aloud. Through their bond, he felt Vex's response, agreement, anticipation. Sam closed his eyes, focusing on the connection between them, trying to push beyond simple feelings to something more detailed. In his mind, he pictured Epsilon 6, the blue grass, the purple trees. A flood of images came back, vast underground caves glowing with soft light, groups of creatures like Vex moving in coordinated patterns, sharing neural networks that connected entire communities, knowledge preservation, cultural memory, a civilization, hidden beneath the surface, invisible to human scanners. Sam gasped, eyes flying open to find Vex watching him intently. You've been trying to show me all along, he whispered. The next morning, Sam called an emergency meeting with the command staff. We need to do more than just return to Epsilon 6, he announced. Not just to bring Vex home, though that's part of it, but to establish proper first contact. What we found isn't just a predator. We stumbled upon an advanced civilization that communicates and stores knowledge through biological neural networks. Captain Russell frowned. That's a big claim, Lieutenant. I can prove it, Sam replied. He nodded to Olivia, who showed a display of complex mathematical patterns Sam had written down after his mental exchange with Vex. These aren't random, Olivia explained. They're astronomical calculations, star positions, orbital paths, cosmic events, knowledge that would require extensive observation and mathematical understanding. Powell leaned forward, eyes wide. If this is accurate, they've been tracking stars for at least 10,000 years. The implications settled over the room like a heavy weight. 3 weeks later, the stargazer orbited Epsilon 6 again. This time, they knew what to look for. Their scanners detected vast networks of caves beneath the surface, ingeniously hidden by natural formations that blocked scanning technology. No wonder we missed it before, Powell said, looking at the new readings. Their entire civilization is underground. A team prepared to go to the surface. This time, Sam wore a special neural interface designed based on his connection with Vex. 6 other crew members, including Olivia, Powell, and even Captain Russell, wore similar devices. Remember, Sam told them as their landing craft descended, we're guests here. This is first contact with an advanced civilization, not a research expedition. Vex stood taller as they stepped onto the surface of its home world. Through their bond, Sam felt a surge of emotion, relief, pride, anticipation. They followed Vex across the blue-grass plains to an area that looked like a simple rock formation. Vex pressed its claws against certain rocks in a specific pattern. Silently, a hidden door opened in the ground. Incredible, breathed Captain Russell. They descended into a tunnel that glowed with soft blue light. The walls were covered with intricate patterns that Sam somehow knew were both art and a form of recorded history. The tunnel opened into a vast cavern that took their breath away. Hundreds of creatures like Vex moved through the space. Some were smaller, some larger. Their scales showed different color patterns. Along the walls, pools of glowing liquid provided light. Plants unlike any they had seen on the surface grew from the cavern floor and ceiling. Several larger members of Vex's species approached. Their neural strings extended outward, forming a glowing web between them. "They're asking us to connect," Sam said, feeling Vex's gentle guidance. "It's how they communicate." Nervously, the humans activated their neural interfaces. Immediately, their minds filled with images, knowledge, understanding. It wasn't like hearing words. It was like suddenly knowing things you hadn't known before. They learned that Vex's species called themselves something that translated roughly to the connected ones. They had evolved without developing tools or technology, instead advancing their bodies and neural capabilities to extraordinary levels. They had no need for written language, external tools, or built shelters. Their shared neural network preserved knowledge across generations. Their adaptable bodies provided all necessary survival tools, and their ecosystem engineering created living environments in harmony with their world. As the exchange continued, Sam realized something important. "They're not just sharing information with us," he told the others. "They're studying us too, learning about humans and our ship through our minds." Captain Russell looked concerned. "Is that safe?" Olivia smiled. "It goes both ways. We're learning about 10,000 years of their history and culture in minutes. They're learning about us too. That's what real contact is about." The humans spent 3 days in the underground city. They learned that the connected ones had detected the Explorer 1 2 years earlier, but had avoided contact, sensing hostile intentions from its crew. They had chosen to reveal themselves to Sam's team because they sensed genuine curiosity rather than greed. On the final day, Vex led Sam to a special chamber deep in the cave system. Here, the oldest and wisest of the connected ones gathered in a circle. Their neural strings formed a complex, beautiful pattern in the center. Through Vex, they offered Sam a choice. He could keep their neural connection, becoming a permanent bridge between their species, or they could gently break the bond, leaving him with memories but no active connection. "If I keep the connection," Sam asked, "would Vex need to stay with me away from its home?" The answer came as a feeling more than words. No. The connection, once fully formed, could span great distances. Vex could stay with its people, but the connection would be permanent for Sam's lifetime. Sam thought about everything that had happened since he first saw Vex in the bluegrass field. How a simple act of feeding had led to this moment. First, contact with an entirely new form of civilization. "I choose to keep the connection," Sam said finally. When the Stargazer left Epsilon 6 a week later, it carried the first official peace agreement between humans and the connected ones. And though Vex remained with its own people, Sam carried part of it with him, a connection across the stars, a bridge between two very different forms of life. As the planet shrank to a small dot on the viewing screen, Sam felt Vex's consciousness touch his mind one more time, sending a clear message that needed no translation. This is not an ending. This is a beginning. Jack Miller stared out the viewport as the transport ship approached the huge space station. The Celestial Academy hung in space like a metal flower, its 5 arms stretching out from a central hub. Each steel petal was bigger than the largest city on Earth. Jack felt his heart beat faster. He was the first person from his small Montana town to ever leave Earth. "Approaching Docking Bay 7, said a calm computer voice. "All human passengers, please secure your belongings and prepare for gravity adjustment." Jack checked his single bag. Everything he owned from Earth fit inside it. He wore the plain gray uniform of a first-year cadet. The fabric felt strange against his skin, lighter than cotton but stronger than steel. The ship gave a gentle bump as it connected with the station. "Welcome to Celestial Academy," said the computer. "Current station time is 14:30. All new cadets report to Processing Deck C." Jack joined the line of aliens leaving the ship. He was the only human. The other creatures came in all shapes and sizes. Some had 6 legs, others had wings tucked against their backs. A few seemed to float rather than walk, but all of them kept their distance from Jack. A small green alien with huge eyes bumped into Jack by accident. It looked up, made a strange squeaking sound, and quickly backed away. Sorry, it said in broken English. "No harm meant, Earthman." Jack smiled. "It's fine, no problem." The green alien hurried away, glancing back nervously. Jack sighed. This wasn't the first time. Ever since the Galactic Alliance had made contact with Earth 50 years ago, humans had gotten a certain reputation. The Alliance had studied all known planets and sorted them by danger level. Earth was a Class 12 death world, one of the most dangerous planets ever discovered. Jack didn't think Earth was that scary. Sure, they had earthquakes, tornadoes, and some dangerous animals, but it was just home to him. But to these aliens from safe, controlled worlds, a human was like a walking disaster, someone who grew up fighting to survive every day, which wasn't true at all. Jack had spent most of his childhood fishing in the creek behind his house and playing video games. Processing Deck C was a huge room with hundreds of desks. Each desk had an alien officer checking in new students. Jack looked for the human section but couldn't find one. Finally, a tall blue alien in a uniform pointed him toward a special desk in the corner. "Deathworlders register there," the alien said, not making eye contact. The desk had extra thick protective glass. Behind it sat a large insect-like creature with 4 arms and waving antennae. A nameplate read, "Administrator Zertak." "Cadet Jack Miller, Earth," Jack said, sliding his papers through a slot in the glass. The insect's antennae twitched nervously. Yes, your file was flagged for special handling." Its voice came through a speaker, clicking on the hard consonants. "I am Administrator Zertak. I handle all unusual cases." Jack tried not to feel insulted. "Is there a problem with my application?" "No, not at all." Zertak's mandibles clicked rapidly. "Humans are valued additions to the Academy. We simply need certain precautions." The administrator typed with all 4 hands at once. A student ID card slid through the slot. "Your quarters are in Sector 7, traditionally reserved for species from gravitational environments similar to Earth," Zertak explained. "However, we've made special accommodations for your unique physiology and environmental needs." Jack took the card, wondering what that meant. "Thank you. Where do I find my roommate assignment?" Zertak's compound eyes blinked several times. "You have no roommate, Cadet Miller." "No roommate? Is that normal?" The administrator's antennae flattened against its head. "The Academy Board felt it would be safer this way, for everyone involved." Jack understood the message. They were afraid of him. "I see. Am I the only human in my class?" "You are the only human in your year, yes. There are 17 humans total among our 12,000 students, most in advanced years." Zertak seemed eager to finish the conversation. "Your class schedule is loaded on your ID card. Orientation begins tomorrow at Oitgroer." Jack hefted his bag. "Thank you, Administrator." "One more thing, Cadet Miller." Zertak leaned forward slightly. "The board requested I remind you about the physical control protocols, which are no running in common areas, no sudden movements around smaller species, no displays of strength or aggression, no physical contact sports without supervision." The administrator recited these like a well-practiced speech. "Earth's gravity is 1.4 times stronger than our station standard. Your muscles and bones developed under those conditions make you potentially dangerous." Jack nodded politely. "I'll remember. I'm not here to hurt anyone." Zertak's antennae relaxed slightly. "Of course not. The Academy is pleased to have you, Cadet. Diversity strengthens us all." But as Jack walked away, he noticed the administrator reaching for a sanitizing spray to clean where Jack's papers had touched the desk. Finding Sector 7 took nearly an hour. The station was massive, with confusing layouts and signs in multiple languages. When Jack finally arrived, he understood what special accommodations meant. His room was at the end of a long hallway, separated from the others by an extra door with a warning sign. Inside, the room was 3 times bigger than the ones he'd glimpsed through open doors. The walls were reinforced metal. The furniture looked heavy-duty and bolted to the floor. A red emergency button was installed next to the bed. They had built him a cage. Jack dropped his bag on the bed and sat down heavily. The excitement of being accepted to the most prestigious school in the galaxy was fading fast. Instead of feeling special, He felt isolated, different, feared. His grandfather had warned him this might happen. The old man had been one of the first human ambassadors to the Alliance. They need us more than they admit, his grandfather had told him before he left. Humans see threats where others see beauty, and beauty where others see threats. That's valuable out there, Jack. But it won't make you popular. Jack's stomach growled, reminding him he hadn't eaten since leaving Earth. The orientation packet said meals were served in the main dining hall. Maybe some food would improve his mood. The dining hall was enormous, with thousands of different aliens eating at long tables. Food dispensing machines lined the walls, organized by dietary needs. Jack found the section marked High Protein Omnivore and got a tray. The machine scanned his ID card. Earth human detected. Adjusting protein content and caloric value, the machine announced loudly. Several nearby aliens turned to stare. Jack kept his eyes on his tray as the machine dispensed what looked like meat and vegetables. The label read, "Specially formulated for predator species." Great. Now he was labeled as a predator too. Jack found an empty table in the corner and sat, alone. He could hear whispers and see pointing from across the room. The food tasted bland, nothing like real Earth cooking. He was starting to wonder if coming here had been a mistake. Another Death Worlder. Thank the stars. Jack looked up to see a young woman in a senior cadet uniform dropping her tray across from his. She had dark hair pulled back in a regulation, bun and warm brown eyes. Her nameplate read Hernandez L. "Mind if I join you? I'm Lily Hernandez, 3rd year," she said, already sitting down. "You must be the new human they told us about." Jack smiled, relieved to see another human face. "Jack Miller, just arrived today." "Let me guess," Lily said between bites. "They gave you the special room at the end of the hall with the reinforced walls? You too? All of us Earthlings get the same treatment at first." She grinned. "I've been the only human in my dormitory wing for 2 semesters. The isolation gets old fast." Jack pushed his food around his plate. "Does it get any better?" Lily's eyes twinkled with mischief. "Better? No. More interesting? Absolutely. Just wait until combat training begins next week." "Combat training? That's when everything changes." Lily leaned forward. "These aliens from safe little worlds have never seen what a human can do. They've only heard stories. But once they see you in action..." She snapped her fingers. "That's when they stop being afraid and start being jealous." For the first time since arriving, Jack felt a spark of hope. "Really?" "Trust me," Lily said with a wink. "By this time next month, you'll have aliens lining up to be in your training group. On their worlds, they're pets. On our world, they'd be prey. Deep down, they all know it. They're not just scared of us, Jack. They're in awe of us." Jack wasn't sure if that made him feel better or worse, but at least he wasn't alone anymore. "Any other advice for a new Death Worlder?" he asked. Lily considered this while finishing her meal. "Just be yourself. Don't try to seem less human to make them comfortable. You're here because Earth creates survivors, and the galaxy needs that. So let them stare. Let them whisper. In the end, they'll be glad you're on their side." Jack nodded, feeling a new determination. He might be an outsider now, but he would prove what humans could offer to the Academy. No matter what challenges lay ahead, he would face them head-on after. That's what Deathworlders did best.